Hello one all, and welcome to the start of season 2 of Dreamland, where we're going to be recapping, looking back, celebrating and commemorating the 2025 Water Cup champion Minnesota Frost. Now, when we did this last year, I don't think we expected to have a season 2. No. So originally, we came with the idea for Dreamland back in February of 2025. This was during the break for the rivalry series and the Olympic qualifiers, the final of the Olympic qualifiers. And we wanted to do something to commemorate that inaugural championship because the anniversary was coming thick and fast. Yeah, it was coming thick and fast. We wanted to do something special. We came with that idea and we did it kind of with the intent for it to be like just a one-off thing. Because obviously back then we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if we would then, make it as back-to-back champs or not. And obviously during our celebrations of our second World Cup, and me I thought, season 2? And he's still like, yeah, season 2. And then spent the summer literally getting the scripts written. And towards the end of 2025, we did do on the Perfect podcast. We did do a little update to confirm to you the plan for Dreamland going forward, and we're going to be here every single year, recapping every single Water Cup championship, whether it's a Minnesota Frost championship or one of the other teams in this league. We're also still going to do our live stream that we do. The last 2 championships we've done a live stream not long after the World Cup's been handed out. We will do that also again going forward. Yeah. So here we are. So how are we feeling? It's ready to get going. It's exciting. It's going to be really interesting to see the comparison between what we did on season 1 and season 2. Yeah, because obviously no 2 World Cup championships are the same. So I feel it'll be interesting to see the difference. Yeah, I have been teasing over the last couple of months on the main show how when you guys see season 2, you will see the complete contrast how we played in season 1 to how we felt in season 2. So we're excited, ready to go as always. So we're gonna start. It's basically gonna be how we did last year. So the first episode covers what happened in the off season. Episode 2 covers the first half of the year. Then episode 3 covers the playoff push, and then the last 2 episodes, the actual run to the World Cup. Yeah. We'll see what happens next year, obviously, because if we need to change that in any sort of way, given how obviously this season we had Olympic break to cover as well. But let's get to it, shall we? So we're just gonna go straight in. So you need to cast your mind back to June of 2024. Yeah. Okay. So, June 2024, PWHL Minnesota makes history, winning the inaugural Walter Cup. Yeah. We're a few weeks away from then hosting the first ever awards night. Yeah. And of course, before the playoffs even began in 2024, we were revealed to be the hosts for the second ever draft. Yep. So we had the second ever draft and also the first ever awards night coming up around the corner. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah. So it was busy times, you know, for Minnesota. It was really busy times. The last thing we expected was to make a big front office change, which unfortunately is exactly what happened. So on the week it happened, I was in London for the 2024 MLB London series between the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets. Pluto was also there with me, and I think if you do scroll far enough on my Instagram, you will find images from that weekend. So you can go on that. You will find out who I supported. Yeah. The last thing I expected when we got into our hotel, we stayed in the exact same hotel we did the previous year, because the previous year we did the Cubs and Cardinals one, and we stayed in the exact same hotel. It was a brilliant hotel, very good to get in terms of closest to London Stadium, which is where we needed to be. Yeah. Not so good. You want to head over to the West End. Yeah, not so good. Yeah. So it was literally, we got to the hotel room. I'm setting my phone up to get on the Wi-Fi and all that. And the first thing I see on social media is this post saying Natalie Dorwitz has been fired. Yeah, it was. Now I was not on the in London. You travelled light. We travelled light. You travelled light for the London series. I was not. I stayed back home. I think it was wise that at least one of us stayed back home, because the draft was going to happen the day that you were coming back from London. So we needed at least one of us to still be air-dyed, ready and ready to go. Thought it was going to be exhausting night for the 10 times of the draft. Yeah. So I was not in London, but oh my god, it was just, yeah. So on June the 7th, 2024, literally just 1 week after winning the league's inaugural championship, and with only days before the draft, it was reported the general manager, Natalie Dorwitz, would not return for the 2024-25 season. She was instead offered alternative options with the league, but of course turned those down. And I'll do this bit and then I'll come back. Right, so head coach Ken Klee served as acting general manager at the 2024 PHL draft, with support from assistant coach it's in a hyperlink, so it might be hard to read. Would have helped if I proofread the scripts beforehand. You think I'd learn by now, boys and girls? George, you don't proofread. You're a performer. You don't proofread scripts. You read scripts. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Take the hyperlink out. There we go. So with support from assistant coach Mira Yellow and team captain Kendall Coyne Schofield. So we at the time did wonder, should we then do an episode on this? Should we do a Birds episode on this, or should we not? But in the end, we decided not to do it, because there was just so much, there was so much that was put out in the atmosphere, in the news cycle. It literally became a bit of, he said, she said, and I was like, I read various different things about it, and I just could not, for me personally, I could not tell what was truth and what was fiction. And in this day and age, where it's so hard to tell what is real, what is fake news, I didn't want to then do an episode and then a couple weeks later we get our facts wrong. Yeah, because I didn't want to do that. Yeah, it became a massive drama that didn't need to be a drama, especially when this was a team that had literally only a few days ago, had literally hoisted the inaugural World Cup and already were in turmoil, already in scandal. We didn't even get a chance to throw out the purple carpet for the parade. No, it's not a good look, especially for the league having just completed a very successful first season. That's not a good look when you're having to then let someone go. I mean, yes, she was offered altered positions, but she did turn them down in the end. And she hasn't been involved with the league since. We haven't really heard much from her since. I think we're all still waiting for her to make that tell-all book. What happened, Natalie? Where did it all go wrong? Tell us, love, tell us! Get to a primetime interview on NBC! Oh, God. Yeah, so not great. Not great. Yeah, so but we had to move on from that very quickly because, like I said, the draft was coming around. It was going to be hosted in Minnesota, and you did then think, oh, is that now going to make things a bit awkward? You know, well, then fine, as long as nobody mentions it. We'll be fine as long as nobody mentions it. Clay, Alexis, don't mention it. Yeah, it was basically the elephant in the room because obviously you had Clay Alexis, who had served our broadcast team for that season. He's gone, which I think a lot of people are quite pleased about. He's now gone, and he's not been on the roster for the 25-26 season. Alexis still has, we like her, but Clay's gone. He's been quietly shown the back door. But they were there, and during one of our picks, Clay only goes and mentions it, and we're like, no! I remember hearing the boos. Like, no, why don't you just bring it up? It's like, no. Thank God we had Kenzie and Cheryl last year, because... Well, there was no scandals last year. Well, no, but if there had been, we would have had them be the professionals and they wouldn't have brought it up. Oh, that is. It's like, come on, Clay, why are you doing this dirty here? No. Yep, no, not good. Well, speaking of the draft, so the PWHL Draft 2024 was held in Minnesota at the Roy Wilkins Auditorium. Now, unlike in the previous year, in 2023, the format was 7 rounds with a set draft order for every single round, with PWHL New York selecting first as a result of winning the gold plan. The rest of the teams selected in reverse order of league standings. So that meant Minnesota had the third pick for each round as a result of finishing 4th in the league standings. Can you two remember the order for 24? You got right. So New York went first, then it was Ottawa, then us, then Boston, then Montreal, and then finally Theo. Right. I so much preferred the draft order we had for 2025's draft, which we'll talk about in season 3 next year for whoever wins this year's World Cup. I preferred 2025's draft order, but this kind of works our favour because it then meant that we had a good chance to then potentially draft well for a title defence, which you wouldn't normally do, because normally in most sports the 2 championship teams, the 2 teams that go to the championship, they normally pick last in that year's draft. Unless you've had trades made, and you probably don't get selected in that draft. But they normally trade last. So it's kind of bizarre to see the World Cup champion select third, and then the runner-up goes 4th for the draft, whereas you got teams like Montreal and Theo who did better in the league that year, but they ended up drafting last as well. It was bizarre. So we will run you through the draft results for Minnesota as follows. So at the 2024 PHL draft, PHL Minnesota made the following selections. So with the third pick in round 1, we selected Claire Thompson. With the 9th pick in the second round, we selected, get ready to boo, Britta Salemi. Boo! Huss! Fuck off. Get fucked. Boo! Take your anti-LGBT stances elsewhere. We don't want them. Yeah. Honestly, I can remember on the night of the draft the furore of when she was selected, and Osprey had no clue what was going on. And then the next day I had to look it up, and I was like, oh no. Your face was like it had seen a ghost, George. Your face just went complete white. Because we know what your position is on LGBT, on the community. We now know what her position is. And it was like, oh god. And you know what I really don't like? Is she's trying to do the whole rehabilitation thing where like, oh, I didn't mean it. It was a long time ago. I'm like, bitch, that ain't gonna wash with me. That's not gonna wash with me. If you said it, then you said it. If you mean it, you meant... Okay, so... No, but it was like, oh, yeah, oh god. My face was just complete white. It was just, oh my god. And there is an episode on Jocks and Jills where they did bring somebody on to talk about it. So I'd recommend you go and watch that back. It was in their first season. So go and try that out. But oh, that was bad. That was a bad pick. I do wonder if Natty Dawes was still in charge, would she have made that pick? No. You'd have to pray that someone else would have picked her. Or she would have been a 6th or 7th round pick for us. So, yeah. Right, we'll carry on. Okay, in the third round, with the... What was it? 15th. Right, thank you. So with the 15th pick in the third round, we selected Clara Hilarova. With the 21st pick in the 4th round, we selected Brooke McQuigg. With the 23rd pick in the 5th round, we selected Dominic Petrie. So these were all really good picks, by the way. With the 33rd overall pick in the 6th round, we selected Mae Bapperson. Then our final pick was the 39th pick, that's the 7th round, and we selected Kaylin Knoll. So it's crazy how Kaylin Knoll was a 7th round draft pick, and yet she provided big in the World Cup playoffs. Which I think just shows how well-rounded our league is. Because in the NHL, a lot of bottom rounders, so they don't normally succeed straight away. But in this league, it doesn't matter where you got drafted, you can shine instantly. Yeah. And she's done quite well this season as well. Yeah, she's done quite well this season as well. I've been quite pleased with the episode this season as well. She's been quite, yeah. Let's go. So apart from Britta, it was basically a very good draft. So let's just say that. Yeah. Absolutely. Very good. All 6 great picks, plus Britta. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so we'll move it on. So the next day, the first ever PHL award ceremony took place, and Grace Sunwinkle was named Rookie of the Year, and was also named to the second All-Star team. I remember rightly, those awards were dominated by Tio. Yeah. Tio dominated the awards season that year, because let's face it, Tio did wonders in the regular season. I mean, that 11-game win streak, which no one has even come close to not matching. I mean, yes, Montreal's matched as eclipsed in terms of points streak, but no one's come close to getting past Tio's. No, the Big Four and the Fleet have tried, but no one's come close to matching that. And I don't think until we get like a 40-44 games regular season, no one's probably going to come close to that because of the parity of this league. I would agree. The parity of this league is too tight to make it possible for teams to rack up those wins. If you can get a 4 or 5 game win streak going, great. But after that, you're probably then playing with fire, and you're more likely to get burned than you would carry on. Yeah. Unless you can find that strong depth core to carry you through this period. Yeah. No, it's incredible what they did. But yeah, they just look literally. They pretty much took almost every single award in that category. In the categories they're up. Yeah. Well, they definitely won Goaltender of the Year, MVP, and Coach of the Year. I can't remember who got forward or defender. I think it might have. Yeah. But the rest of the teams didn't even get a sniff. I mean, Ottawa, poor thing, didn't even get a nomination. No one got nominated from Ottawa. Yeah, no. Which is why I was kind of quite pleasantly pleased and surprised last year when we got the awards nominations from last year, and everyone had at least one player from their team nominated. That was quite great. That was quite great. So then, of course, you go to off-season, and eventually we would have a successor for Natalie Darvas announced, and her replacement was announced on the 3rd of September 2024. Melissa Caruso, who was most recently Vice President of Hockey Operations and Governance of the American Hockey League. Yeah. So I knew her. Yeah. I recognised her. I recognised the name. Because you guys know, I am involved with the American Hockey League. I've been with the AHL for 11 years now. Yeah. Since the Sharks moved their team to San Jose to become the Barracuda in 2015, I've been involved with the American Hockey League. Yeah. So I was very familiar with the name. So I thought, oh great, because for a team like Minnesota, who's going to be seen as a perennial cup contender, you need to have someone in the front office who knows what they're doing, and she does. And she proved that, which I think we can maybe come back to at the end on the final episode. Yeah, she proved that in the end. Because going into that season, there was a lot of concerns about, can she live up to the high expectations that this team's going to have? And she did. But also at the time, it was all, just what was we going to do? What was I do? But no, so I was quite sort of like, it was like a take a sigh for a relief. Yeah, it's like, whew. We've got through. We survived what could have been a nasty, dare I say, nasty situation. We got through it. So I was like, whew. And she has done well. She's done very well for the team. So, yeah. So, whew, it was just like, whew. Yeah, relief. Yeah, relief. And it's good that you were familiar with her. Because obviously us two, we are not involved with the Kings AHL team. We are not involved with the AHL. So the fact that you recognised her, you familiar with her, gave us the kind of things go, okay, if he trusts her, then fine. And as we all know, trust is not easy with you, George. No. Trust is not easy for you. It takes... You are trying to earn his trust. I hope you've got a lot of years in you. I would say harsh, but actually it's fair. It's fair cost. He's got me bad to right there. Yeah, I do have trust issues, so just... Okay. Right, okay, now... Yeah, now we move on to... September the 9th, 2024. A day etched in our membranes. The league unveiled the names and brands for all of the inaugural 6 teams, and oh my god. Well, I think we need to talk about the days leading up to that, because obviously on September the 5th, which was the Thursday, they had... The socials went ablaze with teasers that every single team with a cryptic caption, with a very cryptic caption, and the date 09/09/2024. And immediately, us three were like, it's happening! Oh my god! It's happening! We could tell straight away, It's 2 names! Oh, here we go! Here we go! Here we go! Oh, steady! Yeah, steady! Oh, it's happening! Oh, here we go! This is it! Here we go! Here we go! Here we go! This is it! This is the moment! This is the moment. Yeah. This moment. And then over the weekend, we got the details that the reveals were always going to be happening on breakfast telly! Good Morning America and breakfast television in Canada. We're going to be doing the reveals. Oh my god. You don't get that here in dear old Blighty. And yet we've got one of the most massive daytime schedules in the world. I mean, this country thrives on daytime telly. And yet you don't really see sports teams go on daytime telly. Because this is something you could have done this morning with Addison and Dermot. It's like, it was bizarre to me how you never seem to get sports teams go on the daytime circuit. Because you're missing out a potential marketing or advertising opportunity there. To go, because everyone watches daytime telly at least once in a year. If you're not a regular viewer to the shows, you will at least watch them at least once at some point in the year. So I just don't get. So I don't get why sports stays away from that. Do they kind of feel that they've got a big enough market machine that they can do without? Yeah, but the old saying goes, any publicity is free publicity. So, oh, it's the other way around. Oh, it's the other way around. Free publicity is any publicity. Either way. But yeah, so we were there. So obviously, we prepared ourselves for the day. I was going to come up and still do a recording session regardless. And then I would bring my tablet up, set up the league's webpage so we were ready to go, and then literally, as soon as I finished, we were downstairs, one by one, we went through them all, and we were just screaming the place down. Because there were some very crap names that have been flying around for a whole year, and just, don't ask me, because I blocked them on my memory, I blocked them, they're gone. I just took one look at those in 23 and thought, no. All 6 of us just, no. It's basically like, just go back down those stairs and then come back up when you stop insulting me. I like that guy on The Apprentice one time. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that was brilliant. Especially how that year was a crap bunch of contestants. Yep. I always find it hilarious how every year they always introduce the candidates as sort of Britain's brightest best. I'm like, Send them into Linda, she'll deal with them. Anyway, so yeah, so from that day forward, PWHL Minnesota would be known as the Minnesota Frost. Absolutely just loved it. And with the team keeping their same colour scheme from year one. And the team jerseys were revealed on November the 7th. 2024. Day before your birthday. Day before my 28th birthday. So a nice, lovely early birthday present for me. Get to see all the new jerseys, and they are all. I am still debating on whether or not I'm going to put every single team's jersey in my wardrobe. Still debating. Still debating on what to do about that. Still debating. We'll see. Because if you've watched the jersey build show from season 2, you will know that on the camera I am caught saying I would have them all. So yeah. But it was just so incredible to see every single brand and have us all just not hate any of them, because it's so important in this league that you get the name and branding right for your team. You've got one shot, and for people like you, George, who are going to be the advocates for this league, who have to basically go out there and sell this league to the markets, you have to be able to say with confidence that these are good brands. They ain't never been bad, but well, yeah. This is why I said to you two during the inaugural season, I am happy to stay PWHL Minnesota than have a crap name. I am fine with that, because we need to get this name right, because it's going to stand the test of time. I absolutely love our you know, our design, our branding is absolutely brilliant. And it just sums up Minnesota well, because obviously if you've been to Minnesota, you know it gets cold. You know how cold it is. So it's kind of, you know, it's another older saying, frost by name, frost by nature. Yeah. But obviously we could not have been more thrilled with that. Yeah, so it's absolutely brilliant. And season 2, the start of season 2, it kind of felt like year 1 all over again. Yeah, because obviously, you know, in season 1 we didn't have names, we didn't have brands, we were just PWHL Minnesota. Then season 2, yes, we've all got a chance to establish what the league is like. Now we've got to feel how the league runs, but it still feels like year 1 all over again because everyone's now got their names and brands and their identities. It did. So maybe that's why we waited until season 3 to up our coverage, because in season 2 it kind of felt like we were back to school again. Yeah, it kind of felt like that. Yeah. Right, so mid-November 2024, the league's pre-season got underway with 2 camps being held ahead of the sophomore season. Half of the league camped out in Tio, while the other half made their camp in Montreal. This was the league's first opportunity to test out the new no escape rule, which would be implemented for this season. And it took a while for you to understand the no escape rule, Pluto. Yeah, you two pretty much got it straight away, and no matter how many times you kept reading out the rule to me, Rod, I was like, yeah. Yeah, if you're new to the game, it was quite hard to understand, but I just got it straight away, because to me it's like, okay, it's basically like the icing rule. You ice the pot, you can't change your players. That's the way I saw it. Yeah. So the Frost, they would be having their pre-season camp in Toronto, where they will be joined by the York Sirens, formerly known as PWHL New York, and the Toronto Scepters, formerly known as PWHL Toronto. While in Montreal, Le Victoire de Montreal, formerly known as PWHL Montreal, would host the Ottawa Charge, formerly known as PWHL Ottawa, and the Boston Fleet, formerly known as PWHL Boston. And the Frost had a very great pre-season. Very great pre-season. I've got the results here. Yeah. So on November the 20th, we played the Scepters and won that game 3-1. And then the very next day, November the 21st, we won in overtime over the New York Sirens 4-3. And that's where the script ends. Okay, yeah, that is where the script ends. That covers up all the off-season and pre-season. Okay. So, as you can see, it was quite a bumpy off-season. Yeah. And yet, you also had the Summer Olympics at the same time as well. Yeah, because obviously, you forgot to mention, we've got in that year, in that off-season, there was also the small massa of the Olympic Summer Games in Paris. So for a lot of our expats, it was a really exciting time. And of course, I was also enthralled in election season, because if you remember, there was also in the States the presidential election. Now, as a Democrat, I'm sure you can guess how it went for me. No prize for guessing how it went for me on election night. Okay, no prizes there. Yeah, so there's kind of a lot of fair distractions going on during that off season. Given how there wasn't really that much news that went on that year, it was kind of fun. It did start out quite bumpy with the $690, which we're never really gonna know, are we? Nah. Unless she decides to write an autobiography and puts it in a chapter. Probably a very long chapter. Probably a very thick chapter. Yeah. Probably several chapters. Yeah. You might need to have We're never going to know. Do we really need to know what happened? I don't. It just sounds like like Mean Girls drama that I don't really want to get involved in. Getting hit by a bus. I've set you off now. More it's not for sale. Big fish. This is a cautionary tale. I had to watch that film in Year 9 English. Made no sense. What like Shakespeare laughed? No, in Year 10 that was obvious reason. In Year 10 we did GCSE English and we did Romeo and Juliet. I'll tell you what Year 10 film I did watch which made no sense watching it. The Island. Oh yes, with Ian McGregor. Made no sense watching that. There was nothing on cloning in my Year 10 biology exam. No wonder I failed Year 10 biology. You didn't pass any of Year 10 biology. You had to repeat it. I passed chemistry. You passed chemistry. I passed chemistry. I got the C. The only one I got the C was chemistry. And I had a D, because we did physics first, then chemistry, and then biology. We finished it up with biology. So the physics, I remember because I was in physics that you had to do on your sweet 16th. And then I had a hospital appointment to go to, so that was a great sweet 16 for me! Physics I got a D. Chemistry I had a C, and unfortunately biology is what let me down. Because obviously in my school's GCSE science, you took the grades for each module kind of 25% of your overall grade. So 25% physics, 25% chemistry, 25% biology, and then the other 25% came from coursework. I aced the coursework. I aced the coursework. The problem was the biology exam. I flunked that. What did I get? Got F. Oh no. Yeah. I'm not good when it comes to anatomy, whether it be human or animal, and unfortunately, I knew biology was gonna flummox me, and it did. We also had the horror in Year 11. Had to have a dissection. Oh no! Yeah. Here's me pulling a Rose Tyler, thinking, no, they don't do that anymore. It's not the Dark Ages. Do you remember in that episode with Sarah Jane? Yes. But the reactor's like, no, they don't do that anymore. Yes, I basically pulled a Rose Tyler, but I couldn't watch. I had to basically have my back to class. I couldn't. Like, oh god. Yeah, and that was in 2014, guys. 2014, they were still having dissections in classrooms. Disgraceful. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be ashamed of yourselves, pre-school, high school. There we go. Name dropping. That's where it was. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Yeah, so unfortunately, Year 10 biology is what let me down. So instead of getting the C that I needed, which was needed in all my classes, because that's what our teacher told you to aim for, was to aim for C. Unfortunately, I flunked it, and unfortunately, I, like a lot of people, was chosen to redo it in Year 11. So along with my Year 11 GCSE science, I also redo Year 10 GCSE science. And I was the one thinking, oh, what am I getting needed for? Although I'll tell you what, with the physics one, if the 6-marker question, which was very big in those days, if the 6-marker question had been the life cycle of a star, I would have passed. Yes, I remember, because you have been fascinated by the solar system in your physics class, and you did memorise the life cycle of a star. You can't do it today, no, but you at the time could memorise it, and you were really. I remember when you were going into the result, you were really hoping that you would get that come up, because you haven't been good at 6-mark questions. No. And unfortunately, it wasn't. Instead, they were asking for the life cycle of Jupiter's moon. Yes, but given how I had memorised the life cycle of a star, I just basically wrote it as if it was the life cycle of a star. So, obviously, no marks there. But hey, at least I can say I retain that information. To any of you in GCSE right now, the best example I could give you guys is you know, chances are, whatever you study and revise probably won't end up on your tests. Because that happened with me a lot on my exams. I would spend night after night studying, revise, and it gets to the actual exam, and what I revised the previous night ends up not being on the paper. And that's how I really got flummoxed. Yeah. So I stood no chance. I stood no chance in 2014. I really did. I stood no chance. Yeah, so. And your French exam was sabotaged. Sabotaged. I was sabotaged. Used my disability against me. I was sabotaged. But anyway. How would you grade the draft that we did in 2024? Go on. He had to do using GCSE gradings. How would you do it? Well, no, because it's all numbers now these days. So obviously Waterloo... Oh, of course! Yes, in Waterloo Road it said you have to have a number now. It's not... Oh. Well, do it during my grade system. So, when I was in school, it was A star, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, U. That's one of the gradings. So, how would you graded our draft in 2024? I would say A. Yeah, probably A. We had in Brazil, we've probably got A star. Yeah, that is. Yeah, that is. On paper, it looked going into the start of the season. This looked like a team that had the possibilities and the potential to go for that second cup. It was just all going to be a question of how is it all going to gel and everything. Yeah, that was just the point. Yeah. But it was a very rocky off season that year. It was. Other teams had it easy. Well, actually, now he said that New York did not have an easy off season because obviously they had to go through not just a coaching change but also through an arena change. They sort of got relocated, but didn't get relocated, and it's always been quite a bit of a fuss ever since why they play in New Jersey, what they call the New York but it's like, come on, that's just petty. That's just petty. Absolutely petty. But yeah. So yeah, I think that's like I said. We have come to the end of the script, which is why we sort of went off piece and talked about GCSEs. Rabbi and I children are all gonna die. I don't think even being put under the Demon Headmaster's spell would have saved me either. Oh no. That revival was shit. No wonder why it didn't come back from the go. Can't beat the original, kids. Can't beat the original. He was also in Doctor Who. Yes, he did. He made a guest appearance in Doctor Who. Yes. Anyway. No. So anything else, or shall I tease what's coming up next time? Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, quick before someone then mentions Ruby Sunday. Oh! No! She was doomed from the start. She was doomed from the start. No, you can't go there. Just tell what's coming up next time, George. Oh God! Right, let me up next script. Yeah, you might be seeing some more off-piece moments happen in this upcoming series, by the way, guys. Just to warn you. Right, so that's going to do it for this episode. So next time we will be covering the early portion of the 2024-25 season. So we're going to take you from puck drop So we're going to take you, actually, we're going to take you from Banner Night. We're going to take you from Banner Night right up to before the World Championships. That is what's going to be coming on the next episode as we continue to reminisce on the 2025 World Cup champion Minnesota Frost.